The American love affair with pickup trucks runs deep, stretching across generations and landscapes, from the bustling cities to the quiet backroads. For many, Ram trucks are an icon of that bond, a symbol of power, reliability, and rugged independence. But even the most trusted names in the automotive world can find themselves under a cloud, as safety concerns rise to the surface. Right now, over 1 million Ram trucks are under federal investigation, raising serious questions about whether past safety recalls actually solved a potentially dangerous problem. And for owners of these trucks, that's a deeply unsettling thought. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, better known as the NHTSA, has launched a probe into nearly 1.2 million Ram trucks spanning the 2013 to 2018 model years. At the heart of the investigation is the Brake Transmission Shift Interlock System, or BTSI for short. It's a piece of technology that, under normal circumstances, prevents the transmission from shifting out of park unless the driver's foot is firmly on the brake. It's a small detail in the broader machinery of a modern truck, but it's crucial for preventing vehicles from accidentally rolling away, especially when parked on a slope or with children nearby. Unfortunately, despite earlier recalls that were supposed to fix the problem, reports suggest this system may still be failing. The NHTSA's Office of Defects investigation has received at least 14 complaints describing post-recall failures of the BTSI system. Even more troubling are the 6 additional reports labeled as involving death or injury, which in total have accounted for 7 injuries. The government hasn't publicly linked these incidents to any fatalities, but the fact that injuries are involved raises alarm bells. For many Ram owners who assumed their trucks were safe after previous repairs, it's a stark reminder that sometimes a recall doesn't completely put a problem to rest. These trucks weren't new to the spotlight. In fact, they'd already been under the microscope due to 2 major recalls, 17V821 and 18V100. The first recall, announced back in 2017, involved almost 1.5 million vehicles. The problem stemmed from the BTSI system itself. If it was left energized for too long, for example, if a driver left the ignition in the on position for extended periods, the temperature could climb high enough to cause the plastic housing to swell and the grease inside to degrade. That seemingly minor mechanical hiccup could lead to the BTSI locking pin sticking in the open position. And if that pin stuck, the consequences were significant. The truck could be shifted out of park without the brake pedal being pressed, or even without a key in the ignition at all. Imagine leaving your truck parked in the driveway, only to watch it roll away on its own. That's not just an inconvenience, it's a hazard capable of property damage, injuries, or worse. The second recall, 18V100, was issued in 2018 and covered over 180,000 additional trucks, essentially for the same underlying issue. It added later models from the 2017 and 2018 production years to the recall list, making sure newer vehicles were addressed. Ram's parent company, Stellantis, undertook repairs to replace affected components, ensuring the BTSI system would function properly. Or so everyone hoped. Now, years after these repairs, the federal investigation aims to answer the crucial question: why are some vehicles still experiencing failures even after supposedly being fixed? The NHTSA's investigators want to understand whether there's another root cause lurking beneath the surface that could cause the BTSI system to malfunction. They're also looking to determine if the earlier recall repairs were insufficient or whether new, unrelated issues have arisen. Either way, it's clear that for nearly 1.2 million Ram trucks still on American roads, the story isn't over yet. For Ram truck owners, the news is unsettling. Trucks are more than just vehicles. They're workhorses, family haulers, road trip companions, and in many cases, a significant financial investment. The thought that a truck could unexpectedly roll away even after being repaired under a safety recall is enough to cause anxiety for anyone. And it's not just about safety, it's also about trust. Trust in the manufacturer, trust in the federal oversight meant to keep drivers safe, and trust in the machines that so many Americans rely on every day. The investigation also highlights a broader reality about vehicle safety in the modern era. Vehicles today are far more complex than the pickups our parents or grandparents drove. Electronic systems, software, and specialized mechanical parts all work in concert to keep a truck running smoothly and safely. But with greater complexity comes greater opportunity for failures. A single plastic component like the BTSI housing, when exposed to heat and time, can transform from an invisible piece of hardware into a critical vulnerability. It's also a cautionary tale about the limits of recalls. While they're a vital tool for addressing safety issues, recalls don't always guarantee a permanent solution. Sometimes repairs don't hold up as intended. Other times, deeper design flaws are only discovered years down the line, long after vehicles have left the factory floor. And as vehicles age, the risk of unforeseen problems grows. At this stage, there's no new recall yet. The NHTSA is still gathering information, analyzing data, and working to understand the true scope of the problem. But given the millions of trucks potentially affected and the injuries already reported, it's entirely possible that new safety actions could be announced in the future. For Ram owners, it's important to stay vigilant, keep an eye out for official notices, and ensure any recall work is promptly addressed. The stakes are high, not just for Ram, but for the entire automotive industry. When people buy a truck, they're buying more than metal and wheels. They're buying peace of mind. And with safety under scrutiny, manufacturers, regulators, and consumers are all left hoping that the fixes finally hold, and that the trust Americans place in their vehicles remains well earned.